Welcome to the Ankeny podcast. I'm going to be talking to Randy Wee of Wee's Teas in just a minute, but before that, I just want to let you know that we opened up a second pharmacology section, PHR 185 Pharmacology, for a 10-week summer class. So if you know someone that's pre-nursing, pre-med, pre-pharmacy, or is going to PA school and is really concerned about pharmacology class, that's usually who we get in the class. So we've opened up another section. Classes start in just a week and a half here at DMACC, but that class is fully online and 10 weeks long. Trail Point has just sent out their new email, so I know they have a number of summer programs that are just opening up. They changed the way they do Swim Academy, though, so just to let you know, they changed from 7-week sessions to 2-week sessions, Monday through Friday, or Monday, Friday, and then Monday, Thursday. Same time every day. But you can go to their website to check the Swim Academy offerings and then also all the other programs they have over summer. They have nanny passes available, so if your nanny needs to take the kiddos down to Trail Point, and it's relatively inexpensive, I think it was like $60. And then as far as the Summer Basketball League, I think there's still, registration closes May 20th. So you just register either online or at the membership desk. They are open on Memorial Day, 5 a.m. to 1 p.m., and then the kids zone is open 8 a.m. To 12 p.m., and the competition pool 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. There will be a pool closure notice, or they're closing the leisure pool, the family pool in the back, from Saturday, May 19th to Sunday, June 3rd for maintenance. But I think the competitive pool will still be open, so if you want to do laps and things like that, that's still a possibility. And then they posted their summer hours. All right, well, I don't want to belabor that, but I just want to let you know about those updates with Trail Point, and then again, pharmacology class. And then if you want to take chemistry with me, I'm also teaching 2 sections in Ankeny in fall, 1 section in Newton, and I also teach pharmacology in fall. So just get in touch with me at aaguerra@dmac.edu. And now let's get started with the show. Okay, well, welcome to the Ankeny podcast. I am here on South Ankeny Boulevard with owner of Wee's Teas, Randy Wee. And I just want to say first, welcome to the Ankeny podcast.
Well, thank you very much. I'm excited to be a part of this, and I'm looking forward to being involved.
So let's start with your entrepreneurial journey. Everyone's entrepreneurial journey is a little bit different. Most people start with maybe a job, and then they end up working for themselves. Tell me a little bit about your transition.
Mine was kind of accidental, actually. I used to coach college baseball, and in between jobs at UNI and Northern Illinois, I took a job selling screen printing and athletic clothing for a company called Kraft Cochrane. And then I left that to continue college coaching. And then after I left education in 2008, I worked for a nonprofit and worked from home. And I had a lot of downtime, a lot of time I had to figure out what I was going to do. So my boss had always told me to take walks, but instead I wanted to figure out a way to make money.
Okay.
So I started selling athletic clothing and team clothing out of my house and going around and visiting people, and did that for a couple years, and it just took off.
Okay. Well, what was your mission at the outset, in terms of, so did you just want to focus on high school teams, college teams? How did you decide whether you're going to do local? How did you kind of decide what your niche was?
Initially, my niche was just dealing with youth teams.
Okay.
And then some of my friends that coach high school baseball, I deal with some of their stuff. But then it really took off when I did the season finale shirt for University of Northern Iowa Baseball. They dropped baseball in 2009.
Oh. Yeah,
and
I
did their last ever shirt for their program, and business kind of took off. And then I had a friend who kept saying, I want to own a screen printing shop. Carl Chambers is my business partner. He kept saying, you bugged me for 2 years. And I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do.
Okay. I'm from the East Coast, so I'm used to going down to Ocean City, and every year they would obviously have, spring break, or, this summer, and it would be back then it would be like 1984, 1985, 1986. What other, in terms of businesses, did you have any business experience before you started Wee's Teas? Because the failure rate on businesses is like, after a year, it's like 1 survives out of 10, and then 5 years later, another 10% of those survive. How did you do so well so quickly?
I think there are several factors. One, it's just dumb luck. Because I'm serious, I had no business experience. I had never taken a business class.
Okay.
I was in education. So I think luck was one. Two, there was a demand for it. There's a huge demand for custom clothing in a lot of different areas in the metro. And then I think 3, I hired really good people. And, I like to say, we scared more business away our first couple of years by not knowing how to do things.
Oh, okay.
And so the last 4 years, 4.5 years has been awesome for us with the right staff, with the right process, with good customer service. But I'm serious, I feel very lucky we borrowed credit cards. I stole from my personal savings, and we started a business, and it was very, very lucky.
Okay. Well, everyone, once you become a business owner in town, people think it was all pretty easy. What was it? and that
everybody wants money from you too.
Yeah, it all worked out. Now that you're a great success, I see you're building the golf course in the back.
Yeah.
But what was the biggest challenge that you had? Because most entrepreneurs, if they can survive that big challenge, there's usually one thing or one day or 1 week or 1 month that just was, wow, that was really rough, and we made it.
The biggest challenge, honestly, was not knowing what I need to know.
Okay.
So many times I would not know what to do until the situation arose, because I never thought that situation was ever going to arise.
You can't write a business plan about what you don't know.
Yes, and I wrote some things, and we planned some things, but how to handle different situations. And we made lots of mistakes. We booked equipment in and sat on a bunch of equipment for a year. We've made some bad decisions, but I've survived because of our staff, because of our customers, and all because I have a really intelligent and kind business partner, Carl Chambers, who helps me figure things out on a regular basis.
Okay. Well, most of the great companies do have business partners, and I don't want to put you into tech, but, Microsoft, there was really 2 or 3 of them. Apple, same thing. There was 2 of them. And what is your role? When partners come together, usually one is, I don't want to say more outgoing, but one tends to talk with the public. One tends to like to be more behind the scenes. Where are you, and what is your favorite role as part of a business?
Carl is a silent partner. He comes in, we meet once or twice a week.
Okay.
Doesn't really have anything to do with the business except provide advice and give suggestions and be a sounding board. And then I run the day-to-day operations and do a lot of the sales. So I'm the one that's actively involved.
Okay. And then how many employees do you have?
We fluctuate between 6 and 8,
okay,
depending on the season.
Okay. And then in terms of what products you offer, it's custom, but for example, I was doing the market-to-market relay. Actually, we're doing market-to-market relay in 48 hours. We're going to be getting up at 4 o'clock, going up to Jefferson, coming down 75 miles, and it's our 3rd year doing it. But one of the guys said, "Oh, I want to do the T-shirts. I want to do the T-shirts." And then 3 weeks before, I was like, "So did you do the T-shirts?" He's like, "Yeah, the guy didn't call me back." So I said, "All right, well now I know a guy.
Yeah.
You need to call him. We've got 3 weeks till it starts." Tell me a little bit about how would someone refer you? Like when you say, okay, I do custom team equipment, that's a huge range. Like for every sport, for high school sports, where would you even start? Is there a catalog?
We have a lot of different suppliers. We have hundreds and hundreds of suppliers, so it's really tough to get everything in front of everybody. We're trying to work on our website now to do that. But our main area is custom clothing, whether it's clothing you wear on your body or on your head, whether it's a team uniform for a business or for a team, or for a high school or college or youth team for sports, and then equipment that goes around that area. And we do decoration in regards to screen print, embroidery, and then the advertising products, the promotional products that go with that. So we basically
like a big posters,
a banner, a poster, pens, koozies, window clings, the chargers for your phones that you can travel with. Anything you can put a logo on, most things we do in-house, but a lot of things we also do outside the shop from people that actually produce those promotional products. But all our decoration, screen printing, embroidery, heat set is done in-house.
But usually the person ordering these things is not being paid. Usually they're a volunteer, maybe they're a parent, maybe they're a coach. maybe they're with a school. What's the process for someone that comes in with maybe, hey, we need uniforms for the whole team, and then how do you take care of them during a whole season? Because my wife's just commenting on the NBA season being like 15 months long or something like that, where it's just on and on and on. How do you work with somebody through the season and then into the next season?
Typically, at the high school season, it's usually 6 months ahead when they're doing things. For the teams, for the booster clubs, it's usually a month to 2 months ahead, and then for the elementary schools, it's usually a month ahead for their their spirit wear for their school. But typically, people start up with a phone call or an email and kind of give us an idea what they want, or they stop in and we try to explain to them that the process is they need to have an art idea, they need to have a type of clothing idea, and once we have an idea what they're looking for, we can put that down on a proof for them and send them out approvals for the art, help size them for their uniform or their clothing, whether it's just a T-shirt or a baseball or softball uniform, and then decorate the garment. And depending on what you do, the process can be a week to up to 6 to 8 weeks, because if we're heat setting something, it's a lot quicker than if we're getting a sublimated uniform, which can be.
Okay, now you're talking jargon.
Yeah,
so let's start with the difference. What's heat set?
Well, heat set is a vinyl product you put on your clothing. It's usually, a lot of times people think of their name or numbers as vinyl, but you can also do a custom decoration with vinyl.
My girlfriend in high school ironed my jersey and I lost a letter.
Yeah. And then so you heat press it on with a heat press. It's at 350 degrees. Then you have screen printing, which is an ink that you press on with a screen printing machine, and it's squeegeed on. And you can do from one color up to, depending on what shop you're at, up to 12 or 15 colors. And that is typically what people think of when they think of custom shirts. There's also transfers that look like screen printing, but they're also iron on, but they look more like a screen print than a screen print. And then there's embroidery, which is what you're wearing right now with your DMACC honors program. It's actually thread that it's sewn onto the shirt.
So as soon as you see someone, is the first thing you look at
Yeah, I never thought that would yes, I feel kind of silly. Like, I wonder where they got that shirt at. I wonder how they printed it. And then the cool thing that's going on right now with the industry, there's sublimation too, which is actually you get a uniform or a shirt and it's printed out on a roller and it's dyed into the fabric.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't even feel like there's anything on the shirt. So you can have as many colors on it as possible. But those machines are so expensive that a lot of times those are done by the manufacturer. Okay. And that's a really cool process.
I know a lot of times I'll do a race, and before they give me the shirt, I'll feel it. And if it feels too raised, I won't take it just because I know it'll bug my skin.
Yes.
So that's the kind of thing you're talking about where it's just not going to bother you because it's part of the fabric.
Yeah, and then, but they're more expensive, and the production time on those is anywhere from 4 to 16 weeks, depending on where you get it from.
Okay. All right. Well, how did you decide to be here? So I think you said we're in an old church. I'm new to Ankeny. I've only been here 10 years. So, but my wife has been in Ankeny all her life, so 35 years. But you started back in 11. What made you choose here in the middle of, on Ankeny Boulevard?
Well, we wanted somewhere with high traffic flow.
Okay.
And we also wanted something that was cost effective, being a new business. And this met both those requirements. Ideally, it's not a great spot because it's 4 different levels.
Oh, okay.
It's got the right square footage we want, but it met those requirements. We have a lot of traffic flow through. People drive by on a regular basis. We were also going to be able to put a sign up originally, but they turned that down after the fact.
Oh,
so
okay.
that sign is that's why there's no sign there. But, right now we're out of space and we're not in really good functional space. So we're actually looking to move and be in more uptown in Ankeny between the Clipper and Bryant, Iowa.
Okay. How long have you been in Ankeny?
I grew up here.
Okay.
And graduated in '87, went to college, and moved away until the fall of 2000. We moved back from Illinois.
So can you tell me a little bit about what's going on with Uptown? Because it seems like there's a resurgence. It was probably pretty well attended when you were back here in the early 80s or late 80s.
No, it wasn't then either.
No?
No.
No? Okay, so now, but it seems to be there's some bit of resurgence coming back. Fire trucker, I know, is a staple there, or certainly a place that you can say, okay, well, it's this place from Fire Trucker, and I know that they're building down there. What makes you decide to come down to uptown? I keep wanting to call it downtown because I'm in North Ankeny, so it's downtown for me, but it's uptown.
Well, for one, it's personal for me growing up here. I think it's an area that needs to be rejuvenated.
Sure.
I'm also on the Uptown Association Board of Directors.
Okay.
So it's a natural fit. I think it's a growing area with the bike trail, with the pavilions, with Fire Trucker leading towers up there, Walnut Street Gallery, Uptown Food and Beverage, the Clipper. There's many more stores that are really popular up there, but they're also doing some new development in regards to housing and also new business development that's going to make it a lot more attractive area for people to visit.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit about so is the business just local? So local teams, are you statewide? Are you national? Are you international? I'm just always curious to see how far you reach because obviously it seems like you've outgrown your space. You've only been, I want to say only been in business 7 years, but you've experienced a lot of growth. Where's your market?
It's mainly in Polk County, but we do work throughout the state of Iowa, and we also do some orders in Illinois, Missouri, Minnesota, and even as far west as California.
Okay.
But it's not a predominant part of our business. The only thing internationally we do is we have a couple of followers on Facebook internationally and, and on our website. So
they're trying to figure out the sublimation thing. Like, that looks really cool. It looks really cool. Okay. What do you think is unique about your business?
I thought about this because there's thousands of screen printers decorated across the country. And one of the reasons I opened my business up was I used to contract print out to people.
Okay, as the coach?
No, like when I was selling out of my house.
Okay.
I had to find printers to print my stuff for people.
Oh, okay.
And the thing I was really frustrated with was when something went well, people told me thank you, but I didn't really do it. And when something went wrong, I had to take responsibility for it, and it wasn't my fault. But most of the time, things went wrong. I didn't get something on time.
Okay.
They would lose my product. So I think our on-time percent for screen printing is over 99%. I mean, we just deliver.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we're really good. I mean,
I don't mean to insult you, but that's just really high. Because it's always been delayed.
No, if something's late, it's because something's back ordered.
Okay. Or
in the production process, we damaged a garment and we got everything done, and then we reprinted the other garment later.
Okay.
But I mean, we get everything done with screen printing, and the things that will delay screen printing are if somebody can't give you sizes.
Oh, okay.
Or if they don't approve art.
Yeah.
So if any of those things happen, it really delays the process. But once art's approved, we're always delivering.
Do you have a person that keeps after them? All right, you need to call them again. Find out if they approve the art.
We have an artist that does it. We have a production manager that follows up on our artists and also follows up on our customers. And then, but I think the most unique thing about us is I think our staff is very stable. There's a ton of turnover in this industry. We've had Eric that's been here 6 years, Jake that's been here 6 years, Riley and Mike have been here 2.5 years. Sarah was here for 6.5 years and just left.
That's a really long time to keep you.
Yeah, I know. So I think that's unique about our business is we know our customers and our customers know us.
Okay. What you mentioned a little bit of involvement in the Ankeny community. Tell me a little bit more about how you're involved and how it fits in the business. Talking about maybe a little bit more about Uptown or other places that you're involved. So, I mean, it could be as much as, coaching your kids' teams or whatever it is.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm in the Uptown Association. I'm also in a B&I group. I'm in another PAR group that is business owners that meets every other week. And then I'm involved in Kiwanis. And I try to stay involved with some of the school functions at the high school level and elementary level to stay involved with what they're doing in regards to their fundraising and their booster clubs. And then, like you mentioned, I've coached my kids' youth teams over the years.
Is that so? This is now just a personal question, not with the business. I really struggle to coach my own children because when something goes wrong, it's really tough for me to be the person talking to them. Do you have an assistant coach that's like, oh, this one's my kid. All right, can you talk to him? Or do you have any strategies for that? Because I know many parents have to coach their own kids, and it's sometimes a little bit, it's sometimes very tough.
That was really difficult for me. I've always been one that my kid's going to play less, and it'll be harder on my kid unless everybody else can see that they're so much better than everybody else. Because usually most people coach so their kids get to play.
Right.
So my daughter really struggled with that. She said, I don't get a coach anymore after like 3 years. And I understood that. My son is like, I don't care, just do what you need to do. But it's actually been a struggle because I don't think my own kids have been able to enjoy athletics with me coaching as much as when other people coach them.
Yeah, same with my dad. I was always a midfielder with soccer because, well, you can't be the forward because then I'm showing favoritism.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be all the way in the back. So let's put you as a midfielder. That way you can get a goal if you really struggle, but you can't be up front, just getting the easy ones.
Unless you're so much faster than everybody else is like...
Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, put him up.
Yeah,
But that didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, yeah. So, well... they say that the entrepreneur is someone who works 80 hours so they don't have to work 40 hours for someone else. And sometimes that's in the pejorative. Sometimes it's just how it is. You just enjoy what you do. But what advice would you give to maybe someone who's like, I just don't like working for other people. I would prefer to work for myself. I'd prefer to do things my way. What's the biggest piece of advice you would give them?
First thing is take more time to plan before you open up. Plan and then over plan again. And then also make sure you have more money than you think you really need.
Okay.
And then the last thing is the thing I was unprepared for. As a college and high school baseball coach, I thought about baseball all the time. From the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, what I could do differently, better, how I could, whether it was recruiting or whatever. As a business owner, I also find that the case with business. I might not be physically at work or working from home, but my mind is always on the finances, employees, customers, short and long-term goals. And so somebody that wants to open a business, they need to be prepared for, at times, being very distant from other parts of their lives because their mind will not get off their business.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, what's the best way for someone to contact you?
They can contact me at randy@weestees.com, and that is spelled WEESTEES.com. Or they can call us at 515-257-7191, or also message us through Facebook or through our website at weestees.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on the Ankeny podcast.
Thank you.
Support for this episode comes from the audiobook Memorizing Pharmacology, a relaxed approach. With over 9,000 sales in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia, it's the go-to resource to ease the pharmacology challenge. Available on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon.com, in print, ebook, and audiobook.